There.
Okay, now let's get information.
Yeah, let me,
And we're live.
there we go.
Hi, y'all.
Hey,
They're
y'all.
from elsewhere. I like the rhyme.
Yeah, it's alliterative, as they say. Hey, how y'all doing today? I am traveling, and I will be traveling for the rest of the week, and I'll be joining on my laptop from a hotel room, and hopefully we'll get the technology worked out. I couldn't get my AirPods to work. I mean, they work on the laptop, but they wouldn't work with Zoom for some reason. And there's a thing running on my computer called a Blue Jeans audio something, and I need to get rid of that, I think. But in any event, I'll figure it out later. I've really only got a few minutes this morning, and then I got to run off to a meeting. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Tina Turner. And I grew up in the 50s and the 60s, and I grew up listening to, my dad was really, really cool and had, was always had really, really cool music. And I grew up listening to, R&B, rock and roll. And, in that mix was Ike and Tina Turner Review. And the first time I heard them, of course, was Proud Mary. And if you guys haven't heard this stuff, go to the YouTube and dig up I can Tina. Maybe tomorrow morning I'll see if I can get my computer working a little better, and I can show you some of this stuff. But the Ike and Tina Turner Review doing Proud Mary. Proud Mary had already been a hit for Creedence Clearwater Revival. Mm-hmm. But Ike and Tina just made it their own in so many ways. It's phenomenal. And imagine a pre-adolescent young boy seeing Tina Turner shake what God gave her for the first time. And I'll tell you, that was my first celebrity crush. Tina was the bomb. Tina was amazing, and she had pipes forever. And so the remarkable thing, I mean, if that had been the extent of her career, she would have made it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, that alone was enough. That River Deep, Mountain High, her stuff with Ike. But then she did what no woman could do in those days. She left an abusive relationship. And not only did she leave Ike, but she came back and had more hits starting in her 40s. She took over MTV. She had top 10 hits with What's Love Got to Do with It, and a bunch of stuff after that. And last time I saw her in concert, trying to see her. I saw her yeah. Hey guys, Gary, Amy, good to see you. I saw her on some tour. I was living in Texas at the time. She had just had her 60th birthday, and she was still the hottest thing out there. Still amazing voice, hadn't lost any range, doing all her hits, and still dancing like a 20-year-old. She was phenomenal. And, I understand, we all got to go sometime. She was too young. She was in her 80s. And apparently she had been sick for a long time. Nobody really knows. They're not really saying what she'd been sick with because of the way she was treated in the US. And I got to tell you, Ike and Tina Turner did not make it to top 40 radio. Top 40 radio in the 60s and the 70s had no Black artists at all. The only Black artist to really make it to top 40 was, later in the late 70s, the Jacksons made it, the Jackson 5, and eventually Michael Jackson. And when Tina came back with What's Love Got to Do with It in the 80s for MTV, she was the first Black artist on MTV. And Michael Jackson came after her. She was the first Black artist and the first woman on the cover of Rolling Stone. You know, we don't think of this today. You know, we say Black Lives Matter in the United States. That's because traditionally Black lives have not mattered. And that's why we have to say that. You know, the history of this country is remarkable in that way, and in a remarkable amount of denial about it. So in the, I guess it was in the late 80s or the early 90s, Tina left. She went to Switzerland. She renounced her American citizenship. She retired in Switzerland, and she lived out, you know, after she retired from music, which I think she still performed for a while after she expatriated. But, you know, she eventually just retired. I believe she lived in Zurich.
In a beautiful, beautiful house that, a fun fact, she actually rented because the owners wouldn't sell it to her, but like they refused to sell, and she really loved that house. So she rented it, and then a couple years ago purchased like a neighboring property for 25 million to pass on to her current husband, who she has continuously referred to as like the love of her life. So talk about overcoming adversity. That's just,
Yeah. So here's to Tina.
absolutely.
I really, really miss you. I'm going to put on a hat now because there's my bald ass damn head again.
That's my favorite.
So, you know, hey, so you kids here, had, you know, apparently Ricky has heard of Tina Turner, or she did some reading this morning.
I did not do some reading this morning. Yes.
Pardon?
Yes,
Say again.
I definitely was familiar with her. I knew that Oprah wore a Tina Turner wig for a long time, and then somebody kind of riffed on her for wearing it and said, "Oh, there's only one Tina Turner," and she continued wearing it out of spite for the person who made those comments to her. And it's because, I mean, come on, she had iconic hair, and no one could do it like that, but Oprah did come close, and that was an iconic wig.
Yeah. You know, I've got a video queued up here, and I'll try and show it tomorrow. And I'll try and get a couple more queued up. But you know, if you look up one of the early recordings, and we could actually just put this this link in the comments if we want to. I'm going to paste it here, and you guys can share that with everybody. That's the I Can Tina Turner review, doing Proud Mary, sometime in the early 60s. And you can see just, so there's just a handful of performers. And this is not necessarily an example of this. I'll share another example of this. There's a handful of performers who were ever able to just stand at a microphone and completely own the room without, you know, dancing or production or any of that stuff. Of course, Tina was incapable of standing still. She's always, you know, shimmering and, you know, dancing and, you know, but she could just walk up to a microphone and completely own the room. There's another video I'll try to share tomorrow at her Rock Hall of Fame. And no, it was at the Prince's Trust, where she sings Get Back with Paul McCartney. And if you can imagine, she steals the show from Paul McCartney. That's, you know, unheard of. And the two of them, you know, singing together, I mean, the electricity is just amazing. I could talk about Tina Turner forever, but I actually need to run, and I have meetings today, and I'll be back this evening for game night.
Woohoo.
Love you all.
Hey, you
And
could hop off and Kirsten and I could talk about Tina Turner for another couple minutes.
well, there you go. I will have to play that back and listen to it later because I am interested to hear your conversation about
Yay,
Tina
okay, cool.
Turner.
I just feel so bad. We've only been on for feels like 5 minutes. All
Yeah,
right, you
I'm
take
sorry.
off.
It took me a few minutes to get the audio worked out, and it's not really worked out. I'm just using the damn laptop speakers. But here we are. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you later. Game night tonight, 1800. That's 6 p.m. for the Muggles. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Okay. So I have Acid Queen on 8-track. And I love that cartridge. It's a good 8-track. I don't know. I don't know what they're called other than cartridges or 8-tracks. And it's one of the lesser known albums, but it's really good. I think it's from the mid 70s. I'm not sure.
Oh, so you're all hipster now with your 8-track?
I know all the hipsters moved to records and vinyls. I've been on the 8-track game for years, which honestly is not very rewarding because they break so often. I had an early Fleetwood Mac album, Bare Trees, just completely unravel. I've had Frank Sinatra ones unravel, and it's so heartbreaking when they just completely fall apart.
I believe it. But you just had to take it one step further.
Of course, yeah. No, I had to be hipper than the hipsters. No, we inherited an 8-track machine and then started collecting the 8-tracks at antique stores and thrift stores and stuff like that. And it's always fun when I get my hands on a real good one. Yeah, I know. I've been listening to there's this one I got the other day that is crack to my ADHD. It's fiddling, but 40s country fiddling, and it's so fast paced. It just scratches an itch in my brain I did not know was there, so I'm always putting on the fiddling.
That's what my grandpa used to do.
He would fiddle?
He was a professional fiddler.
A professional fiddler. No kidding. That's freaking cool.
I have a really cool picture I'll have to send you. It's still in black and white, and he's up on stage with his band just freaking getting it.
Oh my gosh, please send me that. That's so awesome. That's a lot cooler.
He was a musician, and then my dad still is a drummer to this day, did drumming.
I did not know that.
Did a bunch of gigs and stuff like that.
That's really awesome.
I think I get my musicality from that side of my family.
So speaking musicality, what's your take on Tina Turner?
I am so sad. And there's nothing that you can say that somebody else probably hasn't already said, and it's just one of those things, as we get older, you find out the people and the songs that you grew up with, everybody's leaving.
Passing, yeah.
Yeah. And that was just kind of a kick in the crotch. My mom was the one that had to text me yesterday and tell me, and I just had a little moment. But I grew up in the dance world, and so if you have never danced to one of Tina Turner's top songs,
oh yeah,
even really in competitive dance,
right.
That's just, it's one of those boxes that you just have to tick off. And being from Texas, it's the same thing. If you haven't ever danced to oh shoot, what is that song, any kind of stereotypical Texas song, The Stars at Night or Big and Bright, even the hard thing, God Bless Texas, I've danced to all of those too. So, and then not only that, but my mom always gave me pretty good taste in music. She's the oldies but goodies fan, and her and I used to jam out, in the car,
oh man,
wherever we were going. And that's just a big staple. So I'm very, very sad that she's gone, but I am so happy. I feel like happy is not the right word, but I'm just proud, maybe. Proud Mary.
Gotcha.
Proud Kirsten, of the legacy that she's left behind.
Yeah, because exactly. I mean, you and I, Bear, we're all living proof that she might have passed from this world, but her legacy continues to live on here, and Yeah, it's just really nice, and I feel like she got her redemption in the end. She got to move to this beautiful house in
Yeah.
Switzerland and, just live out happily there and with the love of her life, so it's all
Well,
we could
yeah,
ever
and
wish
I
for.
didn't know about her being one of the first African American women on MTV. So that was like a really cool like nugget of knowledge.
Yeah, that was a cool bear nugget.
Uh-huh. Well, and it's stuff like that that I take and collect and kind of put in my back pocket and just think like next time I see a trivia night,
Oh, dude,
take
you're
all
gonna
of
tear
this.
up the
I'm
trivia.
going to take all this information because I was already pretty good at trivia. And then like you get the right group of people together and you've got like a history buff and then you've got like a pop culture buff and then you've got like a book smart and a street smart and you like get the right group of people together for a trivia night and like you can just wipe the floor with
Oh,
anybody.
wipe the floor, 100%.
So
it's all about the different interests.
yeah, that's just, I guess that's another one of my favorite things about these lives is because I always just get these random, bear nuggets of knowledge. And
Bear knowledge nuggets.
I just tuck them away and I'm like, these are going to come in handy one day.
Definitely. I
So,
agree. But yeah, that's that. I'm glad we got to talk about this today.
yeah, he said, I don't know if he wants to show those videos tomorrow or
maybe tonight.
Maybe tonight. Yeah.
Also, that's really cool how you did the comments. I had not yet figured that out. So thank you for that.
You got it, girl. I was trying to do, so I apologize for anybody that is trying to use that link. I was trying to do like enter and I was going to do the link underneath it. But you have to do like either option and enter or like command and enter. And I did the wrong one and it sent the first part. And then I was like, great. So I had to send the second part separately. So hopefully they're like together in all the comments.
They are.
Okay.
Looks like it to me. Well,
I feel like I'm like up to par with your like tech savviness. And then
I have zero tech savviness.
Then I do dumb shit like that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm fired. That's it.
You're
out of here.
No, what do you think he is, Trump? You're fired.
You're fired.
Yep. All right. Well, I'll see you tonight at 6 p.m.
Yes. I hope everybody can join us. It's game night.
It's game night, boys.
I got to find a different way to say that. I'm stuck. Game night.
Game night. That's better.
Is it?
No.
Is it?
It's significantly worse.
All right, girl. Well, I will see you later tonight. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with us a little bit longer. Amy, Gary, you guys going to be at game night tonight?
Well, they say thank you so much. So maybe they'll even rewatch game night just in case they're not there tonight. But
it's
always a fun time.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone.
Yeah.